Here's a question that could change your financial future. How much do you have saved for retirement right now?
If your answer is not enough, or worse, I haven't started yet, you are not alone. A Federal Reserve study found that more than 55% of Americans are behind on retirement savings. And most of them are in their 30s, completely convinced they still have plenty of time to figure it out.
But here's what the math actually shows. A 30-year-old who starts putting away $500 a month will have over $1.2 million by retirement age. A 35-year-old doing the exact same thing, same amount, same investments, walks away with $850,000.
That 5-year difference costs more than $350,000.
Not because they spent it.
Not because of bad luck.
Simply because they waited. There is one specific mistake driving this. Not a lack of income, not bad investments. One fundamental mistake that most Americans are making right now, in their 30s, without realizing it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is, why it's so easy to fall into, and the step-by-step plan to correct it, no matter where you're starting from. Stay with me. To understand the gravity of the situation, we have to look at the benchmarks set by financial institutions like Fidelity. According to their 2024 guidelines, the standard health check for your finances is having exactly 1 times your annual salary saved by the age of 30. By 40, that number should jump to 3 times your salary, and by 50, you should have 6 times your annual income tucked away. However, the reality on the ground in America is starkly different. Data from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances shows that only 28% of Americans in their 30s have managed to cross the $100,000 threshold in retirement savings. The vast majority are missing every single benchmark, creating a snowball effect of financial insecurity that becomes harder to stop with every passing year. We often hear that the average American retires at age 63.
It sounds like a standard milestone.
But when you look at the Gallup Economy and Personal Finance Survey, a terrifying trend emerges. Most people hitting that age haven't saved nearly enough to fund a retirement that could easily last 20 to 30 years. We are living longer, but we aren't funding that extra life. Many people in their 20s and 30s operate under a dangerous assumption that Social Security will be their safety net. But according to the Social Security Administration's 2024 data, these benefits are only projected to replace about 40% of pre-retirement income for the average worker.
If you're used to a certain lifestyle now,
living on 40% of your current income in the future isn't just a downsize, it's a total economic shock. The mistake most Americans make in their 30s isn't just about spending too much on lifestyle. It's a psychological trap known as the proximity bias. When you're 30, retirement feels like a lifetime away. It's an abstract concept, a problem for future you to solve. Because of this, many professionals prioritize short-term liquidity over long-term stability. They wait for the perfect time, the next promotion, the house to be paid off, or the kids to be older. But as we've seen, the math of retirement is a game of time, not just money. According to a NerdWallet retirement calculator analysis, waiting just 5 extra years to begin investing can reduce your total retirement wealth by nearly 40%. In your 30s, time is your most valuable asset, and it is the one thing you can never earn back once it's gone. Let's look at the power of 5. If we compare 2 individuals, the first starting at age 25 and the second at age 30, the difference is staggering. Assuming a 7% average annual return, the individual who started just 5 years earlier at 25 can accumulate over $200,000 more by retirement than the one who started at 30. This is the miracle of compound interest working in reverse against those who hesitate. By the time you reach your 30s, you are already standing at a crossroads. Every month of delay is a withdrawal from your future millionaire status. One of the largest overlooked factors in this equation is healthcare. A healthy 65-year-old couple today can expect to spend an average of $315,000 on healthcare costs throughout their retirement. This figure, provided by Fidelity's 2023 estimate,
is a number that most 30-somethings never factor into their nest egg calculations. They plan for housing and travel, but they fail to plan for the biological reality of aging. When you realize that $315,000 is just for medical expenses, the average savings account looks even more insufficient. This leads us to the technical side of the solution: the 401k and the power of maximizing your contributions. For 2025, the IRS has set the employee contribution limit at $23,500. For those who feel they are already behind, there is the catch-up provision once you hit age 50, allowing an additional $7,500. But relying on catch-up contributions is a high-risk strategy. It assumes you will have a high income and low expenses in your 50s, which is never a guarantee. The objective should be to utilize these limits as early as possible, to let the market do the heavy lifting for you. If you are currently in that 55% of Americans who feel they've fallen behind, it is imperative to understand exactly why the wait-and-see approach is a mathematical disaster. We often think of saving as a linear process. If I save $100 today, I'll have $100 tomorrow. But retirement planning in your 30s is exponential. When you miss the early years of your 30s, you aren't just missing the contributions. You are missing the growth on the growth. This brings us to the gap of 1x. Remember that fidelity benchmark mentioned earlier? Having 1x your salary saved by 30 is designed to be the foundation. If you miss that, you aren't just behind on a goal. You are essentially forcing your future self to work twice as hard to catch up. To hit the next benchmark of 3 times your salary by age 40, a person starting from zero at age 35 would have to save a massive percentage of their take-home pay, an amount that is often unrealistic given the rising costs of mortgages and raising a family. This is where many Americans fall into the debt trap of their 30s. As income increases, lifestyle inflation usually follows. We buy the bigger house, the newer SUV, and the premium subscriptions. We tell ourselves we'll invest what's left over. But according to the SEC Office of Investor Education, the secret to the $1.2 million retirement isn't finding leftover money. It's the consistency of the $500 monthly investment. That consistency is only possible when you treat your retirement contribution as a non-negotiable bill, just like your rent or your electricity. We also have to address the Social Security myth more deeply. While many believe the system will simply disappear, the more realistic risk is the replacement gap. If Social Security only covers 40% of your needs, and you haven't accounted for the $315,000 in projected healthcare costs, you are looking at a retirement of survival, not a retirement of choice. For the professional in their 30s today, the goal isn't just to retire. It's to maintain the standard of living they worked so hard to achieve during their career. To fix this, we have to look at the tax-advantaged tools available. Beyond the 401k, the IRS provides structures that most Americans underutilize. Whether it's a Roth IRA for tax-free growth or an HSA for those healthcare costs, the tools are there. The mistake isn't that these tools are hidden. The mistake is that we treat them as optional extras, rather than the primary engine of our future freedom. So, how do we bridge the gap between where you are and where you need to be? The first step is a radical shift in perspective. You must stop viewing retirement as an age and start viewing it as a number. Specifically, a number that accounts for the fact that Social Security is a supplement, not a solution. If you are starting at 30, the math is still on your side, but the window is closing. By investing $500 a month at a 7% return, you are on track for that $1.2 million. But if you increase that to $1,000 a month, roughly $250 a week, that total jumps to nearly $2.4 million. In your 30s, your income is likely higher than it was in your 20s. This is your golden window. This is the moment where you have the maximum earning power, combined with enough remaining time to let compound interest work its magic. The strategy is simple, but execution is where most fail.
First, maximize any employer match.
This is 100% immediate return on your money, an opportunity you won't find anywhere else in the financial world.
Second, automate your contributions so they happen before you have a chance to spend the money.
Third, and perhaps most importantly, fight lifestyle creep.
Every time you get a raise or a bonus, commit at least 50% of that increase directly to your retirement accounts.
We have to face the hard truth. The American dream of a comfortable retirement is no longer a guarantee. It is a DIY project. With only 28% of your peers hitting the $100,000 mark, staying with the average crowd is a recipe for financial struggle.
You don't want to be average.
You want to be prepared. The $315,000 healthcare hurdle, the 40% Social Security gap, and the rising cost of living are all manageable if you act now. The 5-year delay that costs $350,000 doesn't have to be your story. Whether you are 25, 35, or 45, the best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time is today. Correct the mistake. Stop waiting for the right time. Log into your accounts. Increase your contribution percentage by just 1% or 2% today. And take control of the math. Your 65-year-old self is counting on you to make the right choice right now. Don't let them down.
Thank you for watching.
If you found this data-driven breakdown helpful, ensure you are prioritizing your future by staying informed. Your financial freedom is the result of the decisions you make today.